Hey, hi. I'm Floyd Rosini, the journeyman's son. And I want to talk to you about the cheesecloth wipe again because in the last video, which was my first video, I really didn't give you all the information that I wanted. There was so much more. So I went ahead and did another video so you could really get the balance on the cheesecloth wipe and how important it is and how it is the #1 tool in your bag. So let's get started. We'll give it a shot, see how you like it. And listen, if you really like these videos and you like the content, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Another thing that I really like about the cheesecloth is that you can get such a thin coat on that it makes such a great job. You can have the buildup of film to exactly where you want it. When you go in with a brush, it goes on pretty thick. It goes on pretty heavy. If you use a sponge brush, man, it's going to flow on pretty good because you have to have it wet in order to get that finish on. But with the cheesecloth wipe, you can put on such thin coats and then build them up to really get the best looking finish. That's one of the ways I do my urethane finish with the cheesecloth. I load up a pad with the cheesecloth. Sometimes I'll even just pour out a big puddle on the top surface of the project I'm working on, and then I take the cloth, I spread it out, even it out, stretch it out, and I get a really great thin coat. And I can put 3 or 4 of those coats on and just have a really great looking finish without it being too high a build and not being looking hungry. You don't want your finish to look like plastic, and neither do you want it to look like it needs another 2 or 3 coats. You want the perfect finish, and the cheesecloth gives you that perfect finish. It's really awesome. I just love them. I love the cheesecloth. I was brought up on cheesecloth wipes, so to speak. My finishing career, I started with my dad, and he's the one that taught me. He's the one that taught me finishing almost 50 years ago. I learned in his shop, an approved shop for apprenticeship. I served a 3-year apprenticeship and got my journeyman's certificate in New York State under the Department of Labor guidelines. And so I was introduced to the cheesecloth wipe in that shop. I used to go out on jobs with my dad. We used to do transit damage. We used to do moving damages and insurance claims. And we'd go into the house and we'd do the repairs and we'd do a lot of French polishing. Cheesecloth wipe is the best for French polishing. Holy cow, you're going to love it if you're a French polisher. I know that there's a lot of ways that people make pads, and they have really specific ways. They look like almost like a pumice bag when they make their tampons for French polishing. I do it a much different way. I use a pre-mixed French polish and it comes out. It's a beautiful job. Anyway, let's get back to some of the other uses for the cheesecloth wipe. I like to use it for wax. Paste wax is awesome. You put it on with the cheesecloth. It really stretches it out. You can get it on nice and thin again. You can track it. You can follow it with the cheesecloth. I know people use rags for putting on wax, but usually they find the cheapest rag they can find. They get some really bad rag, and it's not good for the furniture. It's not good for the end result in the job that you get in the end. Cheesecloth wipe is awesome. And so once you apply with the cheesecloth wipe, if you have a clean, dry one, you can use that to buff it off with. It's a great way to do that. You put it on with a cheesecloth wipe, you let it dry overnight. I always let my paste wax dry overnight and then buff it with the cheesecloth wipe. It comes out with a beautiful luster, picks up the excess wax. Overnight, there's not much excess wax left, so you get a really great luster. And I make wax. I make my own wax. I make my own American custom paste wax. You'll find that on my website as well when you go down to the description box underneath. I make a lot of the products that I sell on the website and that I use. I want to bring you the best products that have been successful for me. I've had a business for almost 50 years, and my parents, my dad, he had a business you know, before me, he started business with his dad, my grandpa. And that's where a lot of these products have come from. Some of them are directly from me. Some of them are formulas from them. But they're formulas that have been tested and worked in the field and kept our business going. They're great products. The wax is mine. There are some polishes that my dad and my grandpa put together. And they're on the website. And we're going to get to those in some of the other videos. But right now I want to focus on the cheesecloth wipe, because without the cheesecloth, you really don't have anything. You open up your tool bag, you can have all the stuff. If you don't have a cheesecloth, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. You can't start the job. So you got to have the cheesecloth wipe, and with showing you how to do some padding, up, how to apply shellac, how to apply the varnish. Waxing will probably be a whole video in itself, and some of the other videos we'll do, you know, in depth on these things that we're talking about now. But to get an overview, without the cheesecloth wipe, you can't even do the job. So the cheesecloth is important, and that's really why I wanted to start with that. By the way, if you like these videos, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. If you like the content, there's going to be a lot more of it. Really a lot. All kinds of different projects I have lined up. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot of finishing for you and teaching you how to do the best job you possibly can. That is the most important thing to me, that you do the best job possible.